So people, the other day, there was a high-profile case in which all 4 defendants were let go, freed. Their lawyers made some sorts of no-case submission. And the judge, he agreed or she agreed, and the case was thrown out based on a lot of technicality, based on the fact that the prosecution could not prove that these persons were guilty without a shadow of a doubt. I am speaking about the case that involves Godfrey Martin, known as Rev, Sherilyn McLean, Fitzroy Johnson, Jermaine Baker, and 42-year-old Dervin Brown. He is no longer with us. I am speaking about a case that occurred on March 20th, I think, of 2022, in which they found a portion of gun, 21 to be specific, 3 M16 and about 18 handguns, and in excess of 2,000 rounds of ammunition. On or about August of 2022, Mr. Rev was arrested at some sort of party. I think it is called All White Milk and Honey in Ocherous to be specific. Anyways, on or about last week Friday, the lawyers for the defendants, at least 3, made some sorts of no-case submission to the judge, and he let them go. Godfrey Martin, Sherilyn McLean, Fitzroy Johnson. Like I said, they were all out on bail. One individual, he was taken out when he was on bail. He is from Bronx. Bronx is in New York. Now somebody called me, somebody that works in law enforcement, and said to me, you know, sir, I watch your channel and you know, sir, I was a part of this case. Let's call it, don't give my information, but I am a part of law enforcement, specifically Department of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearm, which would be a part of the case since these guns, the source was America and the destination being Jamaica. When I was on that case, and at days when I'm not there, information based on my people, they said to me, Jamaica is really a different sort of place. Jamaica is filled with corruption. First thing that person had a problem with, how is it that a country that is so infested with murder by the GUN and you hold 5 individuals and those individuals are out on bail? Had it been America, more than likely, 99.99%, those persons would be confined to some sorts of penal institution. So therefore, they knew that there was a problem. As a matter of fact, that person even said to me, based on the rules and laws and what we see going on in a lot of these Caribbean countries that seems to be corrupt, corruption is always question sign. They are now looking to amend the rules wherein the people can be charged at the source and charged at the destination. So therefore, they are now looking to amend the laws in which they can charge these people in America because they realize suspiciously a lot of persons are beating the case, whether it is on technicality or whatever term they use. So out of curiosity, I ask, this seems like some sort of slam dunk case. Easy like 1, 2, 3 for win for the prosecution. What went wrong? The response that I got was, it is better if I told you what went right. Because it seems as if everything that could have went wrong. And I said, please explain in intricate details. The person told me that everything went wrong from the witness. The witness was discredited by the defense team, seeing that the witness seems to be some sorts of flip-flop. Based on information, it is said, confirmed, that a lady went to pick up the package, meaning the GUNS from America. So that lady was the name that was on the document. When she went to the place, she realized something was wrong. So therefore, she took herself but not before they could catch her on camera. So therefore, they knew whose name it was in. They had a picture. Eventually, she would get arrested along with all of the other people. She was then a co-defendant, one of the suspects in the case. It is said that the prosecution tried to then use her as some sorts of witness, key witness. It is said that she was given money to get some sorts of lawyer by the other co-defendants before they realized that she was going to turn state. And even when she turned state, it seems as if she was kind of flip-flopping. So therefore, remember, she is a defendant. She would make a very credible witness because she knows the intricacies of exactly what took place, who gave her money, who she spoke to, who was going to send what, when it was going to be sent, and where it was going to be sent. However, because of her testimony or statements conflicting, she was discredited by the defense team. Now, people, do you know that in our case, if it involves any sorts of DRUGS cash, if you say a £2,000 at the cocoa, and when trial come, if a 1,000 or 3,000, automatically that is going to put up some sorts of red flag. So therefore, that case could be, and more than likely will be, thrown out because of the inconsistencies of the quantity. Such is the case as it pertains to toll. These tolls have to be inventory immediately, taken to a storeroom and taken back from the storeroom to courts. When those went to courts, that proper inventory was not done. So therefore, that was one of the criteria that made this case shaky. And these lawyers filed some sorts of no-case submission to the judge, and the judge agreed. But remember, there were 5 people, 5 co-defendant suspects in this case. Godfrey Martin, Rev, Sherilyn McLean, Fitzroy Johnson. All of those persons were released on Friday on no-case submission. Fast forward Monday, the same can be said for Mr. Jermaine Baker. No-case submission again, freed once more. That is 4 out of 4. That is 100% batting for the defense, 0% for the prosecution. The 5th person, Dervin Brown, was on bail. He is from the Bronx. The Bronx is in New York. He mysteriously lost his life on or about November of 2023. Guess what happened in courts? And the main reason why most of these persons, along with all of the other fumbles. All of the defense lawyers tried to blame this man and said that yes, he is the main person. He is the sole person that is responsible. And remember what they say. DEAD man tells no sorts of tale. So for all of you aspiring persons out there that want to be criminals, have dreams to be criminals, remember your own friends, if and when anything goes down, and inevitable it always will, the law of possibility and probability, even better karma, is going to catch up to you. Every day that the bucket goes to the well, one day at the bottom are going to drop out. These other 4 co-defendants and their lawyer conspired to blame the man that was DEAD, 42-year-old Dervin Brown, saying that it was all his GUNS. He was the person that shipped it. He was the person that orchestrated everything from A to Z. And again, the judge agreed. The judge said yes. Based on all of those fumbles, all of those criteria, all of those technicality, all of those lack of proof by the prosecution. So everybody, even though there were signs of guiltiness all over, everybody that was documented to be a criminal, known criminals, slam dunk case, all of the smoking guns was nothing more than a little whimper. Everybody bust the case. Everybody go home. Jamaica problem continues, because don't think that these people are going to stop and get any sorts of 9 to 5. They are going to realize that, wait a minute, we get busted with the hand in the cookie jar and we still beat and buck the system. That system is weak. This system is like a big PUSSY just waiting to be FUCK. So they are going to be going back and forth as if they are in back road until they finally get FUCK. But until then, they are going to continue FUCKING up Jamaica. So when I asked the person that was giving me this information, so what do you think? Do you think even with all of the technicality and blunders, these people should have walked? I was told, if this had been America, even with all of those fumbles, based on everything else, these people more than likely would be convicted. But you have to remember, the feds have a 99 or 97% conviction rate. 97 plus out of 100, maybe about 99%. So therefore, 3 to 1% would walk. In Jamaica, it seems as if the success rate is about 3 to 1%, exaggerated. I also asked, so do you think that money was being paid to people for pretty much throw this away? He said, obviously, the witness seems as if she knew that if she went into court and testified conflicting to the reports, conflicting to the testimony, conflicting to everything, more than likely, if she is a key witness, that case is going to be thrown out. Such is the case, as if everything else was not bad enough. Point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news, it is called Popo life matters than the regular civilians. It does not matter if that Popo is a rogue Popo, his life will still be defended. Whoever is a suspect person of interest will be found, will be taken out more than likely within a jiffy, 2 and 2 within 24 hours or so. Exaggerated. Such is the case of one Popo known as Mario Thomas. This Popo was an introduction, like I said before in a previous video. He was said to be a suspect in some sorts of robbery, SHOOTING, where a shopkeeper and also a man coming from church was taken out. The vehicle that he was in was intercepted. He was arrested. He was placed on suspension, interdiction. However, based on information that I am getting, he was kicked off the force totally. They took his keep and care and he was caught slipping, taken out in a place called Comfort, I think. Now, people, like I said, this is what we call a typical rogue Popo. However, we saw that maybe about 24 to 48 hours ago, on Monday to be specific, there was some sorts of operation conducted by the Popo in a place called Maypen at about 2 a.m. broad daylight brawling, them call it. Based on the Popo report, it is said that some sort of special operation was launched in the North Street area. Upon reaching that vicinity, it is said that they saw a group of men. When the men spot the Popo, them blaze up all sorts of can after the Popo. This SHOOT out lasted for about 30 minutes or so based on the Popo's account of things. After the smoke cleared, a man was found DEAD. That man's name, Kerry Douglas, known as Stickman in the streets. He was third rushed to the hospital. However, you already know the outcome. It was destined to be doom of the worstest kind. He was pretty much sent to Dovecut on some sorts of ice. Now, when I spoke about Mario Thomas, I said that he is probably the worst of the worst. Robber, thief, KILLER, criminal characteristics, MO from A to Z. Told you about the situation in Porus in the robbery where 2 people lost their life. I also told you that he was trying to take over some sorts of gang. I also told you that in Kingston, somebody lost their life at the hands of the Popo because Mario put out some sorts of hit and said that that person is responsible from A to Z, all sorts of criminal activity. That man was taken out by unknown assailants. That man's name, Keyshawn Young, he was 26 years old at the time he met his demise at Tabo. Now people, is it coincidental or what that Mr. Kerry Douglas Tickman is said to be the brother? Don't know if it is 100% BLOOD brother or just brothers in arm or brothers in the gang. However, it is said that Stickman is linked family to the next man, Keyshawn Young, that lost his life. So is this coincidental that the Popo went? Is it coincidental that they came under FIRE? And is it coincidental that the man that is said to be responsible for that officer, Mr. Thomas, losing his life is now presently DEAD? Now people, as a youth growing up a couple of decades, it seems as if whatever is in the Popo manual of how the protocol is run when they go on any sorts of operation, it sounds cliche that every time that they go for somebody or going to some place, they always come under FIRE, because what I know about gangsters, them always have some sorts of spotlight and some sorts of lookout. So therefore, if the Popo come and people, I am not saying that there are no cases in which there's no sorts of GUN battle, they were caught off guard and then spontaneously them start blaze up. It never usually ends up in the favor of the criminal, obviously. So me just say, it seems as if the Popo need to start use some other script, because this script is getting played out and cliche more than likely played out. Why can't we hear that the Popo go on some sorts of operation? Them see a man a walk fast and the tool drop and all sorts of can blaze up. Or them going to a place and see a man with a girl and the Popo and him in some sorts of verbal altercation, him wheel and pop off. Why it has to be the same thing, 100,000 different case, and all of the case is the same script. Something no sound right or something no sound wrong to uno. And people, don't get it twisted. I am not having a problem with the end result. Me just have a problem with say, it kind of sound away when every day we get up and we hear the same thing. Popo came under fire. Them took evasive action. Wheel and pop off return X-fire. After the smoke clear, a man or men were found clutching onto some sorts of tool or trying to clutch onto their life. They were taken to the hospital. However, they were pronounced 99% of the time DEAD. We don't have a problem with that, but me just say, as people with common sense, it kind of sounds kind of iffy, it kind of sounds kind of shaky. So I am just saying this to say that you need to remix the script, the cliche script, like Diddy or DJ Khaled or how these bloggers remix my content. Every other 100 or so, you say, I use the same story. It can't be the same for every incident. It is more than coincidental. It is likely suspicious. Now, in this case again, the residents, the mothers, the parents are saying, you know, say, I know any sort of SHOOT out. Them come for this youth now call BLOOD. Like I told you about that DEATH warrant, it is inevitable that you are gone. Even if you're confessing, even if you're in the presence of your pastor, it is DEAD on arrival, DEADH on sight, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.